What is up, YouTube? This is your girl Killer Rose. Hold on. Let me look. There we go. Right now I'm at the gym. A whole lot is going on tomorrow. I guess they're getting all these CEOs from like all these mainstream, well, not mainstream. It's more like I think there was like Twitch and all these other platforms like Reddit. Oh, trust me, I have heard about it. I guess they're talking to see if they can like at least eliminate the problem where there's actually people, like actual people are trying to harm other people because of a different opinion. And now, for me, I do not care that if you are a Democrat. I do not care if you're an atheist. Honestly, it's, we have to choose one direction. And maybe there's like a lot of things that you do not agree with being a conservative. But I mean, we hope, at least for me, I hope that I am able to change not a person's mind, but to give it some an oversight, on a lot of things that are going on, and that I bring in the light in this solution. And yes, there's so many times where I have been mad, that I lashed out, that I got angry about, and it's true. It's true about immigration. I feel strongly on that. You guys know what I feel about that. That there's a lot of, I'm gonna say it, there's a lot of sex trafficking. And now, I don't personally know, but from the statistics, like the actual numbers shown, that there's a lot of people, that a lot of illegal immigrants that have been, what was it, I think it was like 20 million people. I have to look at it again. I think I saw it on Fox News, that I guess a lot of immigrants have been coming all over the world without having any without having any papers, or a certified document to let them know that they are legal here in America. Not sure they have any licenses. Sometimes you got to work the way up. And it's so crazy for me, to bring that many people in and out for 4 years. The way, I'm not gonna call any of the cartels out, right? I already know people are really getting targeted from these people. I have no idea who the prime leaders are from any other cartel besides the people in Venezuela. So they're training their people to arm themselves and attack the military. The military is done with, or at least Donald Trump. Remember I told you that spine, right? Who's the head, the new sheriff in town, right? There's a new guy in this year, and he's ordering his military, which is the men and women that we all know and we all appreciate, going out there and stopping these people in their tracks. At least the military struck them like 3 or 4 times, and for them to not get the message says a whole lot. We do not want the drugs. Stop sending drugs. And just, they literally called the cartel a terrorist organization. This is way far beyond than the FBI. This is an actual military special force and operations. This is an actual paper that's saying these people are a threat not only to the civilians of our people, but to make it broadly, it is the, you know, a threat to our military people. It's a threat to our country, basically. It is a threat not only because of, it is a threat like worldwide. To say that they're a terrorist organization, the FBI is not there to knock on your door and say they're, you know, no, these are people in the military are gonna arrest these people, you know, cuff them, whatever. But with the cartel guys, they don't care. They would rather, you know, they just would rather do what they do best. These people are freaking armed to the teeth. They have military weapons. They control the military operations there in Mexico. And so, and I mean, it is insane. And yes, they do. They do. I mean, you have no idea until you actually look at the history of their background. You know, Pablo Escobar, you know all those guys. I mean, especially this dude. He lists the names, he knows the faces, and yes, I heavily support the ICE. I do not think that they need to remove their masks, and these politicians are trying to tell them to remove those masks are unbelievably stupid. You can get doxxed, and you would realize, and forget about cybersecurity. No, if they know your face, and they can literally find you and where you live and where your family is and threaten your family. And now doxing is the most craziest thing that anyone can do. And I think a lot of people are still they're like having I call it an investigation, right? Because I'm going back and forth with this, but it is all true. And if it's not, correct me. But I think they're going, like through, to Twitch and TikTok and all these other stuff, all these, Reddit. I thought I saw Steam, but I'm not sure. I don't think that Steam is on there. YouTube is iffy, except for that one incident. I think there's this one guy who was talking trash on YouTube, and it was just a whole scandal. It was a whole scandal. One guy posted something, they got, they saw each other in, in a mix event, and one guy got shot. But that's just one incident. And now, if you put together 2 and 2, of all these other platforms, there's at least, it might be far off, but it might be thousands, tens of thousands, or millions of these, rhetoric. I don't see rhetoric like violence towards the right, but towards the left mostly it is an actual issue. I have seen it on Reddit before. Right after I left TikTok, I jumped straight to Reddit, I guess, and I was completely turned off. Well, not completely. I was like, still, getting into things. Like, I was like, oh, this is what Reddit feels like. Like, finally, for the longest time, I actually been to Reddit, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and get, through these achievements, like be on this app every single day, and just to earn a badge. And I thought to myself, Rose, I hate to break it to you, but are you retarded? And then I was like, no. I mean, yes, and I have been documented, so yes, but am I that retarded? No, I'm not. And so when I mean, I was in this group, right? I thought this was a group where people would get together after TikTok was banned, right? And if you haven't known, go back, way back to January, you will see how I was explaining how TikTok was being weird about this whole TikTok thing, or TikTok ban thing. And it was so insane. I was like, getting banned for one day is one thing, but to come back after, in less than one day, right? It was less. I think it was not even, it was like you can just, it was like very early in the morning, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go check it out, see. And yeah, it was open, and a lot of people thought, they might as well delete the app, and they did the mistake of deleting it. But it wasn't a mistake. They like seriously changed everything. You couldn't even go on live, and do all these major things, and they closed down the shops, and I was so disappointed. I felt so mad because I felt like, I loved the shop. I would shop there every single time, when I get paid, right? But this is not it. It got to a point where I was thinking like something major was going to happen with TikTok. And I knew how the platform is. It is the biggest platform than, I don't want to say YouTube because I might be wrong, but it was the biggest platform that I got to see. I'm gonna just run this real quick, but it was at one point, and when I got to see it today, after Israel getting it, yes, they got it, they own it. I'm not a huge fan of it, only because, what's his name, Bibi, and you know who I'm talking about. He doesn't agree with the terms of the American way. So we are more prone to know what free speech is, and I believe that he's a communist. And now, yes, don't get me wrong, he mentioned having class lists, right? So we know the lower class, the middle class, and a high class. So what do you mean, having, a communist, right? This guy thinks that because of having no classes, there's gonna be people, like rich people, right? Who's gonna spread, they're not gonna be too rich. No one's gonna be too poor. And, everybody would just have everything, and they could survive together as a country. But I think that's a horrible idea. I think if that was the case, there would be more homeless population in the area. I believe so. That's why I don't like that. I would rather have to work my way up, just like every company did. And yes, there will get to a point where they have, a lot of money and a lot of power. With great power comes with great responsibility, right? So, what am I going with this? It is just that I feel like like this whole thing, it is almost coming to a halt. But there's other people out there that can just go to another platform to communicate. It doesn't take a whole lot for someone to just to freak out over something, or try to dox someone because, they have a different opinion of theirs. There's so many streaming platforms that they can use, or they can create their own. It doesn't take a whole lot to create something and to put it out there on the internet. you know. I mean, someone just can, you know, I could say 10 or 20 years from now, there'll be like another TikTok, you know. I mean, I can just throw it out there. There could be another car that's coming in. There's gonna be another console in. I mean, the only consoles that I know are Nintendo, Xbox, you know, and freaking PlayStation, PC, right? But that's not a console. So that's just a separate thing of just having an accessory where you can just mainly have social media and games. Now, I'm saying that there's a lot to go on than just to limit people from targeting people. There's going to be people that are going to be targeting people regardless of what these government officials are going to do. And now, I'm not advocating for it because I freaking hate how these politicians work under these people. They are promoting violence. First, I mean, yeah, sure, you know, do what you gotta do with the social media, you know, try to like see if there are any threats or remarks, you know, saying that, you know, people like this should be doxxed, etc., etc. You already know these people. These people are unreasonable to talk to. They are dangerous people because they are literally threatening your life. And I mean, I've seen it a whole lot, but not on Twitch. Yes, I have been live streaming on Twitch, but I haven't got to see the nitty gritty, you know, like the I haven't seen a whole lot of extremism as Asmongold has. I haven't seen anything that is like shocking. And yes, I heard some streamers here and there do say some stuff that is very shocking to me, but I haven't seen it like you know, if it's bad as it is, as they say it is. I don't know. And so, you know, it is insane. But what I'm trying to say is that first get the people who are in Oregon, who's in Los Angeles, you know, the people who are running that state need to get out of there. They need to get fired. That's what I'm trying to say. They need to get fired because they're not doing a good job at maintaining their people and protecting there's the police force, the ICE agents, not even the National Guard. I feel like the National Guard needs to have a amount of force to put these people into jail. 100 people out of 1,000? No, I feel like that should be a higher number than that. I would have said at least 300 people should be arrested during like at least the first day. The first day, you at least have 300 people, and if that's a little high, then 250 people at least. Okay, and for the whole week, it has to be 500. That's. I mean, it may seem like, you know, freaking like out, you know, crazy, but I mean, I've seen so many people that are not only throwing things, they're trying to hit the National Guard. They should have every single right to take them down and take them to jail. That's just it. And, you know, I mean, I feel like that many National Guard, I feel like they should put more people in there than the amount that they put them in there, you know. Like they didn't put enough guys or gals to actually, you know, have the situation in order. So that's just my opinion, guys. I feel like this whole thing tomorrow, it needs to go. I mean, like, it's gonna be okay, at least I hope. But for me, it's like these people need to think outside the box than just a couple of social media platforms. I'm talking about big major people who are running a state that are obviously are not under control, and they're saying that it is, but you can literally see it on the video live streaming that it is not the case. And I just wanted to share my opinion on it. I feel like a lot of people are not getting arrested or apprehended because of this, and I feel like they just need to find someone who can be really in charge, because this whole thing is just obnoxious. It's, you know, I feel like these people are wasting days when they can just get it done with less than 3 days, you know. And I'm talking about weeks of just riots, you know. Just people are just going crazy. I feel like they should at least arrest a lot more than what they arrested, and then sometimes they arrest the wrong people. And you could defend yourself, and then you end up becoming arrested without, and then the other perpetrator who assaulted you ends up to go free. There's a lot that I feel like that, you know, needs to be improved, especially with the judicial system. Oh my God, do not get me started with a Diddy case. What was it, 8 years or something like that? Or I don't know, it's probably less than that. But I feel like they cheated. Out of everything that they put against him, they like threw a low ball, and it wasn't it. There was no home run. Nobody won. Nobody got to score. It was so terrible. It was very upsetting. So yeah, I just wanted to say that that just, it's crazy. It is absolutely insane how these people can get away with things. And I can tell you right now that I've seen a lot of people that should be put in jail, at least for life, or, you know. I mean, a lot of people are saying that the death penalty is not the way, but guess what? A lot of people do not care anymore. A lot of people are getting out. They don't get the message. They don't get the message. If you take one life, then, you know, that you have to give your life because you take one. So it is insane. So, all right, it's 8:47, guys. I'm gonna end this real quick. But yeah, that's my opinion, and I'm just gonna work out, just do my cardio, treadmill session. I think I'm gonna do the Stairmaster. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, peace.